In 2008, a young man named Jiro is dejectedly examining a gift shop. As he always spent his birthday by himself, he goes to buy himself a gift and starts thinking back on the brief moment he felt happy birthday. He had a miracle in this mall on his most recent birthday. A year ago, when I was strolling through the mall, Jiro starts to notice a pretty girl grinning at him while wearing an odd costume. Jiro watches in disbelief as the girl starts robbing the business, and swiftly puts on her new attire without the store owners seeing. She approaches the man but doesn't say anything to Jiro, merely staring at him as though she had known him for ages. Even after they exit the mall, the woman keeps pursuing the man, and Jiro becomes sidetracked by he demonstrates his simpiness by crashing the girl's female asset straight onto a pole. To celebrate his birthday, he takes the mini-girlfriend he purchased to a restaurant for himself, but the life-size model quickly enters and interrupts the celebration without being invited. As Jiro begins to experience severe discomfort, the girl starts ordering practically everything on the menu, noticing that his wallet is losing money per minute. Once all the food has arrived, things get even stranger, and the woman starts consuming the food as though she were from a different planet. Jiro is wondering how many dishes he needs to wash in order to cover the bill. When the man sees the check, he nearly has a heart attack. However, the female insists that he wait outside and assures him that she will handle it. But Jiro is taken aback when he witnesses the woman leaving the restaurant without paying. As the restaurant manager carefully follows them, he is forced to turn into a criminal as well. When they finally manage to get away from the assailants, the girl abruptly tells the man to close his eyes and demands that he refrain from opening them until she has left. After telling Jiro that she is truly from the future, the woman starts to sprint across the street. However, the man couldn't contain his tears of sadness when he opened his eyes. Returning to the present, a lightning strike appears in the center of a crowded street, resulting in a lot of road accidents as individuals become terrified and panic. Eventually, the blinding energy fades, exposing a woman that resembles Jiro's girlfriend from a year ago in appearance. This woman appears to be much more robotic than the previous girl. As she wanders in a dimly lit alley, a number of gangsters are tallying the items they have taken. As soon as they see the female approaching, they instantly encircle her like hunters. Their target, but as soon as they notice the woman's insane eyes, they know something is up. With great force, the girl snatches the leader and throws him away, while striking the wall with his other pal. Believing he is a professional boxer, the third man attempts to fight her, but is instantly knocked unconscious with a single blow. The woman ignores all the traffic as she makes her way to the mall, and knocking out the managers who attempted to stop her in order to remove the clothes from the store. In addition, Jiro is spending his birthday at the same eatery as the year before, and is taken aback as the girl reappears in front of him. But something about her seems really strange to him. When the woman shakes her head and starts singing in a robotic manner, the situation worsens as the girl slams the man's head into the birthday cake and splattering her face with champagne. A criminal starts firing a machine gun into the crowd before the man has a chance to recuperate, which results in while the girl manages to shield Jiro from the bullets, others rush for cover. The gunman starts shooting and threatening to set the entire place on fire. However, the female runs towards the man like the Flash and hits him with a bottle. She makes the criminal swallow the gasoline and discards his weapon, before hurling the man in the direction of the windows, sending him crashing out. Jiro is shocked by what has just transpired, but the woman manages to save everyone's lives. A cigarette lands in the shooter's lap as he keeps spat gasoline out of his lips. As the pair exits the restaurant, the man explodes into thin air. As soon as they get to Jiro's flat, the man starts tidying his room, tearing off the bikini posters and attempting to conceal his tissue papers. The lights are turned out and the girl shoots before the male can finish cleaning. Launch a hologram that seems to be an older version of the main character into the air. The woman is actually a cyborg, it turns out, and his future counterpart constructed her to save him from the previous shooting. Jiro is warned by the elderly guy that a horrible catastrophe is imminent, and perhaps in the future, his robot partner will also be able to save him. When the male learns of the girl's background, he is astounded and wants to work out with her before bed, but all he does is get knocked out in the process. The woman soon discovers what appears to be Jiro's pet lizard moving behind her, and she starts to circle the animal like a predator. The cyborg chooses to prepare Jiro breakfast the following day, but the guy quickly learns of it, that his favorite pet is used to make the food, which makes him pass out right away. When the robot girl learns that the man will be late, she chooses to follow him to class. She snatches Jiro by the shoulder and takes off at breakneck speed. Everyone appears to be moving in slow time because of how fast the cyborg is, and she is able to be on time with Jiro for the attendance. The man is captivated by how much food the cyborg can consume during lunch, while his wallet is once again becoming lighter. Additionally, it appears that the girl is immune to the flirtation of other males, as she discards Jiro's acquaintance like a raccoon that steals. She finds it difficult to feign when Jiro presents the cyborg to all of his pals later that day, to be a typical girl, as after just 1 cup of alcohol, she starts acting strangely. Jiro rushes in, but finds it difficult to conceal the robot's glitching abilities. As the girl spins her head like she's in a horror film, what's happening? As a result, the pair must leave immediately. He leaves all of his pals behind since they find it hard to believe what has transpired. The following day, Jiro takes the cyborg to work while she robs a young child of her food. However, they are unaware that a significant disaster is on the horizon. As the truck speeds toward a young youngster, the driver is preoccupied with his phone. However, the girl's lightning-fast quickness saves the child just in time. Then she returns to the restaurant as if nothing had occurred. As he starts dressing up, Jiro starts to fall in love during their entire time together. The cyborg is becoming more and more human as a result of the girl acting like a real girlfriend. Additionally, the dude starts acting like a real simp and attempting to do inappropriate things to her, but promptly receives what is rightfully his, being swatted about like a bug. But there are benefits to having a strong robot girlfriend, like grasping for that $1 that's beneath a gigantic bus, or utilizing her as a living projector while preparing for tests. Jiro lets the woman sleep on his bed and begins to look after her as well. However, the male is unaware that the girl has been extremely busy at night. Jiro can't help but wonder why the cyborg frequently returns with grime on her face. It soon becomes clear that she was genuinely protecting people from calamities, including that she was not responsible for the building's complete destruction by fire last night. The woman suggests taking Jiro back to his homeland while preparing lunch at midday, as the man's elder self always lamented not going back to his village before passing away. The protagonist starts crying as a result. Almost nothing remained after the town was devastated by earthquakes when he was a child. Jiro is reassured by the woman that she can bring him back, because she has the ability to travel through time with the person at her side. They make the decision to go there right away, and the man is astounded to realize that the buildings are just as he remembered. The two swiftly wander through the streets, where everyone is enjoying the festivals. As the man starts seeing faces he recognizes everywhere, Jiro eventually discovers who he is at a very young age, and they accompany the young child to his home, where his mother is also there. They make their way to the hidden location where he had kept his childhood keepsakes, and discovers a kind note to his future self as well as a picture of his family. The man is ecstatic about the memories they are able to revive, and gives the woman his sincerest gratitude. They go back to the present era, and the consequences of time travel land Jiro in the ICU. Observing the woman from a distance, he starts to question whether the cyborg has any genuine affection for him, or everything is really a mental delusion. While recuperating from the hospital bed the following day, Jiro discovers via the news that because of a criminal holding hostages inside a school, police have encircled it. The instructor and all of her students are threatened with death by the man. However, there is little the authorities can do to stop the crime. Abruptly, a lady charges up the steps and dashes into the building, where she can throwing the man out of the windows and letting him crash onto the ground would be an easy way to stop him. The culprit can be caught by the police. When Jiro learns that his girlfriend is also a superhero, he bursts into tears of happiness. When he ultimately chooses to lean in for the kiss, the man starts to grow even more in love with the cyborg, but is dissatisfied that their embrace did not elicit any feelings in the woman. Jiro declines the girl's invitation to try again right away since he is deeply offended by the robot's failure to return his affection. Later that evening, Jiro apologizes to the cyborg as the woman is shut down, because, despite the fact that it might never happen, all he wanted was for her to declare her love for him. By dating another woman, the male attempts to arouse the robot's jealousy and arouse her emotions. However, he only succeeded in leaving him feeling hollow on the inside. When a man starts staring at the cyborg directly in front of Jiro, things get much worse. She finishes up grabbing everyone's attention by doing the robot while they are begging her to dance. When the main character notices this, he or she leaves right away out of jealousy. She tosses the other man to the ground like a spinning top, causing the cyborg to follow him. The robot girl ultimately follows Jiro to the park after catching up to him, in which the man is smacked by the girl instead of kissing her. As a result, the girl gets grabbed by the cyborg and launched into the air, causing her to collide into the fountain. Jiro screams at the cyborg out of indignation, accusing her of consistently acting against his wishes. Eventually, they arrive at the exact location where he originally said him farewell, and Jiro, who never wants to see her again, yells for her to close her eyes. In a fit of rage, the male quickly leaves, leaving the girl alone herself. Jiro resumes his regular life after splitting from his pal. However, the man is unable to ignore the consequences of the girl's disappearance. Even though he starts to really miss her, he understands that this is most likely for the best. The girl continues to keep watch over him in spite of Jiro's words, giving him a pet, so posting him notes on the billboard outside his window and ensuring he won't feel so alone. The woman's concern for him really affects the man, but before he can take more action, when a powerful earthquake throws everything to the ground, the entire building starts to tremble. The man watches in terror as each building collapses one after the other outside the window. Jiro's residence quickly starts to collapse as the walls give way from the strain, causing the floor to shatter into fragments. Fortunately, the robot girl manages to capture him at the last second and shields him. When the entire structure is turned to rubble due to all the fallen debris, Jiro gives the woman a passionate hug while expressing regret for his previous remarks. However, the city is utterly destroyed, indicating that the threat is far from ended. People flee the streets as the buildings collapse on top of them, fearing for their lives, resulting in general pandemonium in the process. The robot girl clings to her boyfriend and makes a valiant attempt to preserve his life. Using her body to block all the pebbles, she is able to shield him from the falling debris. A big car suddenly speeds toward them, forcing her to be slammed into the buildings and toss the man away. Fearing his lover is dead, Jiro stares at the car in disbelief. However, the woman emerges from the collision largely unhurt, proving that she survived. The man gives her a joyful embrace. However, when the girl watches the buildings behind them collapse, she realizes something is off. The woman pushes Jiro after realizing they don't have enough time to flee together away and cause the entire structure to collapse into her corpse, sending him tumbling into a car. The grounds tremble once more as a giant appears before the man has a chance to grieve for the girl. The man falls as he hangs frantically for his life when the hole is uncovered. Remarkably, the falling buildings did not kill the cyborg girl, as she notices her man is having problems as soon as she regains consciousness. She uses her immense strength to push against rocks because she has no other option, causing her to gently climb in Jiro's direction while tearing free from her lower torso. The girl is able to hold on to the main character before the male plunges into the abyss, draws him away from peril, but Jiro is startled to discover how badly his friend has been hurt. The man is told to flee by the cyborg, but Jiro won't leave her again. As she shares this with her buddy, the girl beams with joy, that she at last comprehends the meaning of love. But when the ground trembles once more, the girl is forced to shove her boyfriend away, as Jiro cries out her name in desperation as the entire block collapses into the cyborg. After the earthquake has finally passed, the protagonist starts looking everywhere for the girl, and finally discovers the woman's hand after stumbling upon a heap of rubble. As the girl is wailing under the rain, Jiro manages to extract the cyborg and embraces her. No matter how hard the man implores her to wake up, she is no longer awake after giving her life. Even though Jiro is already somewhat elderly at 61, it soon becomes clear that he was after decades of research, they were able to bring the cyborg back to life and restore her memory. When the two can finally spend time together, the woman confesses her love for Jiro, making the elderly man grin once more. Together with the several prototypes, they can celebrate the man's birthday. And, like previously, the girl presses the man's head against the cake. As Jiro finally dies, the couple holds hands and gazes into the sunset. After many years, a female student informs a buddy that she discovered there is a robot in the museum that resembles the girl identically. As soon as they enter the chamber, they notice a statue of Jiro next to the robot girl he made, and the girl finds it astounding that they may have the same appearance. At the auction, all of the cyborgs that have ever been made are being sold. By outbidding all of her rivals, the girl was able to obtain the robot. She starts to feel the recollections of the cyborg and is moved by Jiro's memories of the robot. She decides to go back in time to before the man encounters the cyborg girl as a result of this, in order for her to have a first-hand perspective of her time with the main character. The girl fell in love with Jiro the moment she laid eyes on him. However, she knew she would soon have to go, so she was unable to express her feelings to the man. In order for Jiro to avoid seeing her anguish, the woman instructs him to close his eyes. And as she time travels once more, the girl flees in tears, returning to the current moment, as Jiro is still searching for the cyborg, and the man sobs as he finally cradles the robot girl in his arms. He is unaware that the human girl has made the decision to re-enter his life. Jiro looked at the woman in shock as a result. As it happens, she had no intention of going back in time, and has made the decision to live out the remainder of her days with the person she loves.